Afternoon and welcome to the finals of the World Cup of iRacing for 2010. My name is Daryl Morley. Alongside me is Nim Cross as we get set to bring you the action. And today, Nim, we will crown some champions.
Yep, today we are a part of the World Cup finals, and the Team Region Championships will be decided.
Every driver is a part of a club based on where they live and what they've registered for. Those clubs will do battle here this afternoon, and we will have a championship club, and every member of that club is due some pretty cool prizes. The process to get here was four 12-week seasons. Throughout the course of the year, 35 clubs were divided into 7 different regions. 5 clubs in each region were competing for the RSCC, which is this World Championship, except for 4 in the Central Europe and 6 in the U.S. All drivers in all divisions were competing for points for their club, and those points went towards that entirety of the club. That was 7 RSCCs per season. All clubs that win have qualified for this. There's 17 clubs that qualified. The qualified clubs were New York, New England, Pennsylvania, the Virginias, Ohio, Mid-South, Carolina, South America, Indiana, the Plains Club, USA West, Australia, New Zealand, France, Benelux, Iberia, and then the Germany, Austria, Switzerland Club. Those are the groups that are known as DEAT, and CH, and the International Club. What we have today for you is the World Cup Finals, and there are very few clubs qualified in. The New England Club will represent the Northeastern region. Representing the Mid-Atlantic region, we have the Ohio Club. From the Southeastern region, the South American Club. From the Central region, the Indiana Racers. From Pacific region, we have the USA West. From the Western European region, we have France. And from the Central European region, we have the Germany, Austria, Switzerland Club, the DEAT-CH Club. Those are the clubs that will be competing, and the winning club, every member of that club will receive iRacing credits.
Yeah, a lot of credits on the line. These guys and a lot of people in these clubs are pulling for the drivers that are on the service today. Well, these drivers will race 80 laps, and we are at Michigan International Speedway, which is a 2-mile high bank super speedway. So we're using the NASCAR Chevrolet Silverado trucks, and it should be very close, very good drafting in this race at this track there.
Defending champions are the DEAT-CH Club. That's the Germany, Austria, Switzerland group. We'll see if they can go back-to-back. Here is your starting lineup for this particular event. Stefan Potier will start in the number 1 position. He'll be in the number 5 truck. And Jason Burstein outside of row number 1 in the 1 truck.
Starting in the 3rd spot, Joshua Gordoff. And starting 4th is Simon Crockchart.
Ronan Tageron will start in position number 5, and starting 6th, Marcelo Pelagatti.
Chase Peruno starts 7th, and Robert Monheck starts 8th.
Steve Ritter will start in the 9th position, driving the number 9 truck, and Pedro Souza will start in 10th, driving truck number 7.
Starting 11th is Bios Kohlberg, and PJ Sturgis starts 12th.
Wyatt Gooden will start 13th in the number 11, and starting 14th, the number 17 truck of Jonathan Berthier.
Florian Kirchhofer starts 15th, and Cale Dresbeck starts 16th.
Rob Munoz will start 17th, and 18th is Matthias Runer.
Ronnie Potts and Dave Sudera round out the next row.
Starting 21st is Bjorn Lada, and 22nd, Adam Now.
23rd, Fernando Sigalakau, and 24th, Michael McLean.
Mauro Trevisan will start in the 25th position, and starting 26th is Lance Soto.
Jan Davis starts 27th, Walter Holmes 28th.
Mark Brown starts 29th, and starting 30th is Brian Troyer.
Evandro Denta starts 31st, and Josh Parker starts 32nd.
Robbie Baker, Terry Siders, and Rick Kirby round out this 35 truck field as we get set to go green flag racing here at Michigan International Speedway. These drivers ready now behind the Ford Mustang pace car. The Mustang will take that hard left-hand turn down onto pit road, and we will get set to go racing here on PSR TV. We're glad you have joined us for the first of two broadcasts, the road racing side, coming up in just a little bit. That'll start about 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Pace car off the racetrack. Here the drivers come, getting set for the drop of the green flag. The first big event of 2011 is underway here on PSR TV.
Joshua Gudorf leads them down in corner number 1, and then the 8 truck of, actually, Joshua's down the bottom of the track fighting Stefan Potier for the lead spot right now. It's Joshua down low, Stefan up high.
Nice side-by-side drag race down this long backstretch here at Michigan International Speedway. On the inside, we see the number 8 of Gudorf. On the outside, Potier as they battle for the number 1 position, and nestled right in. Behind them is the number 1 of Jason Burstein.
Potier leads them coming off of corner number 2. The outside lines, he's had a good draft momentum right now. And that, I believe, is the number 2 truck of Jason Bernstein, slotted right there in the second position. Actually, that's the number 1 truck of Jason Bernstein.
Bernstein running well here in the early going. A couple of drivers to watch for. PJ Sturgis, he's a driver to watch for. He's a usual and a normal open-wheeled racer at local racetracks around the Northeast. Another guy to watch for, the world-famous Josh Parker.
Yeah, PJ is a talented driver in all aspects of iRacing. I mean, he's always doing real well in the road courses and in the ovals, and PJ out looking to do a good job tonight as we have a swap for lead and a couple good drafting coming down the front straightaway.
Yeah, they swapped the lead on the backstretch, swapped it back in turn number 4. Potier had been down to second spot. Bernstein had taken the top spot. Potier grabbed it back coming out of turn number 4, and now we have Stefan Potier leading this battle down the backstretch.
Accident in turn number 2, about 4 or 5 trucks involved here. One of them, Mario Tresvasan.
Michael McLean also involved, the number 35 machine. So, unfortunate turn of events for McLean. Looks like his race might be done already, Nim.
Yeah, it looks like it started with the 35 truck and the 2 truck, or the 35 might have drifted up a little bit into Josh Parker, and that put both of those trucks up into the fence, and then a couple of trucks piled in after that.
That's not going to make JP very happy at all. Josh Parker heavily involved, and then several drivers barreling in after the initial contact, and that's a tough break, and we'll see if any of these drivers are able to continue. It's not looking all that good for the majority of the drivers involved.
Well, the 2 guys who were initial starters of this wreck, the 35 truck and the 2 truck, are both from the same team or same club, both of them from New England. So not looking good for New England here at the start of this race.
Not looking good for me either, and PJ Sturgis is one of those New England racers right now showing in the 11th position. We'll give you an idea on who's racing for who. Jason Burstein is racing for the West. Josh Parker and PJ Sturgis both racing for New England. Chase Padano is racing for the India racing team. The France team has Stefan Potier and Ronan Targeron representing them. Pedro Sousa is representing the South American team. Ohio drivers Joshua Gudorf and Steve Ritter. Rob Mendek is racing for the defending champion DEATCH crew. Ohio drivers Wyatt Gooden and Cale Dresbeck. Florian Kirchhofer and Matthias Runer also racing for the defending champions. Robbie Baker representing New England. France has a couple drivers involved in this particular event. Simon Coquart and then Jonathan Berthier are the 16 and the 17 truck. Ohio racer Ronnie Potts. Bjorn Latta is from the defending champion DEATCH team. The West driver Rob Munoz, who's in the number 20 machine. The Indian racer, Indiana, we should say, Lance Soto is in the number 21, as several drivers around the area are involved in this, and a couple drivers already out. Michael McLean looks like he'll be done, and Terry Siders, unfortunately, from the India team, did not make the start.
A lot of drivers in this race. 35 take the start of the race, and it's a little bit early. We're on lap number 5, so the front of the field elects not to pit. They're probably looking to get about halfway before they make their pit stops, and halfway will probably be okay to make it on fuel here. So they're looking for a one-stop race, but if they get a long green flag, maybe 20 laps or so, 15 to 20 laps, they'll probably decide to pit for those tires, because tires do make a difference at this track, and you want a good fresh set of tires so you can maneuver through the turns where you can make your passes.
South American racer Mauro Trevisan has now retired from the event, an extended pit stop after the accident, and now he has retired from this event. Tough turn of events, and that will thin the herd even more for these racers that are going to continue on. Josh Parker is out of this event, the number 2 machine. So the highest rated driver right now is Jason Burstein. He's racing out of the West, and he will restart in 2nd position, Nim.
Yep, Steve Paudier from France. France guy's doing a real good job so far up there. 1 lap to go till green. We will get the green flag next time by, and that will be the start of lap number 7.
So we'll have 6 laps in the books when the green flag flies. 6 of the 80 laps, we should say, and warm-up was 5 minutes, and these drivers took every second they could on the racetrack prior to our initial warm-up session, and these drivers have really put a lot of practice time in for this event, Nim.
Well, imagine, these guys and teams and clubs have all competed over the last year to make it into these playoffs and championships for this week. All these guys competed, and their clubs, 17 different clubs competed, which made it into the finals here. They all competed all week long to get to the chance to have be in the races today. So they've been practicing, and they've been dealing with their clubs and getting set for this all week long. And here we got 35 drivers in this race. This is the championship event, and everything is down this line, and they have all practiced, and they've all collaborated with their teammates for this particular race here tonight.
And these are drivers that normally wouldn't help one another unless it was a specific teammate type environment, and here they find themselves working together, trying to work for a common goal. As the green flag is in hand, we'll get set for the return to green flag racing. Indiana racers down 1 driver, New England down 2. Everybody else at full strength. Green flag flies, we're back underway.
Stefan Paudier lead them down in the corner number 1, 3 wide, leading down in corner number 1. Everybody seems to be making it through pretty good right now. Paudier leads them off of corner number 2.
The 6 and the 8 having a nice battle. The 6 nestled in behind the number 1. That 6 machine is Robin Mendhek. The 1, Jason Burstein. We've talked about Burstein. Mendhek having a good, Mendhenk, we should say, having a good run. A lot of the drivers that we don't normally see throughout the course of our broadcasting here within PSR TV and my broadcasting outside as well. A lot of these drivers that we don't normally see having a good showing for themselves thus far.
Yeah, Bernstein, one of those guys, very familiar, as most of these guys are, real good oval drivers, and Bernstein is a name that I recognize that he's always doing well and up at the top of the list here. Right now, he's looking to challenge for the lead going down corner number 3. Now he looks underneath Paudier, coming off corner number 4.
Burstein to the inside of Paudier, almost drifts up and makes a little bit of contact. Now leaving each other plenty of room here on this very long front stretch at Michigan International Speedway. Burstein on the inside. He's got another French racer up on the high side. That's one of the things that these drivers have to be aware of. Burstein in the number 1 truck is racing as part, we'll double check here. He is racing as part of the West Club. He really needs to be aware of who's around him. Paudier and Tageron will help one another out. They are both part of the French club.
Yeah, you will definitely see these club drivers trying to help each other out. And they've definitely talked about this before the race is over, as now Bernstein and Potier are side by side for lead. The 6 truck helping out Potier on the outside line.
It's smart racing from these teams as Bernstein trying to break up that French connection up on the high side. Bernstein works the inside. Bernstein, I should say, works the inside line and take a peek right behind Bernstein, or trying to get up behind Bernstein, was that number 8 truck, the 8 of Joshua Gudorf, trying to get up there as well. These drivers need to be aware that they've got a team duo up at the front of this field that is threatening to try to pull away and dominate this one.
Well, you know, another one of those French drivers, Simon Coqueret, was up there, and he was about the 3rd truck on the outside line. He just got up into the fence a little bit and scraped the wall, and he lost about 5 spots going down the backstretch of last lap.
Tough turn of events for Simon. He'll have to get back into the swing of things and work his way towards the front. And depending on how the scoring is done for these racers and for the clubs, we could see a situation this early in the race where a club like, for example, New England, who was already down 2 drivers, could be done.
Yeah, you can always lose it early in the race. You know, they never talk about you can't win on the first lap, but you can lose it. And a lot of teams in trouble early on is now everybody's starting to get single file and snake their way down the front straightaway. And a lot of draft here at this track, Darrell. In this truck, it opens up a big hole in the air behind them, and there is a very significant draft effect at this track.
Several viewers watching on, rooting on their home club. If you're wondering where your highest ranked driver is, Potier and Bernstein, or Potier is from the French club. Bernstein is racing with us from the west. Tageron is also from the France club. That's your top 4. Running in the 5th spot that's Ronan Tageron, as Grochart was starting 4th. See, it's been a while since we've done these podcasts. Still trying to work out some of the bugs. Joshua Gudorf, the number 8 machine, number 8 of Joshua Gudorf. Gudorf is representing Ohio, so Ohio has a racer up in the top 5 as well.
Going down the backstretch, one of the trucks got loose coming off corner number 2, and that's a 6 truck of Ronan Turgeron. He got loose coming off corner number 2 and lost about 3 or 4 spots. Wyatt Gooden is one of our pronounced road racers here at iRacing, and he's doing real good up there. He got loose a little bit coming off the last corner, and maybe lost a couple spots. He's down there on the inside right now in that number 11 truck. He's trying to get a draft off of the 8 truck, which may be helping him down the back straightaway there a little bit, but he's moving his way back up into the 5th position.
So Gooden having a strong run here in the early going as well. And Gooden, as you mentioned, known around iRacing for his road racing skills and his road racing acumen. But Wyatt Gooden, you could put him in almost anything, and he'd find a way to be competitive. And in more cases than not, he'd not only be competitive, he'd find a way to run up at the front and have a shot to win.
Oh, no doubt about that. Wyatt is one of the best sim racers there are, and he's also a really, really good real-world racer, too. He's won the VW Jetta Cup races and some different events, and I believe he's doing some other road racing this season. But he's done real well in both worlds, sim racing and real racing.
So we'll see what Wyatt can do on the big oval here at Michigan International Speedway. Your top truck starting to get nestled into a single file. However, a few drivers a little bit deeper in the field doing some battle as the number 6 of Ronan Tageron moves up a spot.
We do have yellow on the track. There is a wreck on the front straightaway.
The 23 machine involved in this one, that is Marcelo Pelagate from the South American team. So South American team is now experiencing some damage to their hopes and their standings, as the more drivers you have with damage, the more drivers out of this thing, the steeper of an uphill battle it is to try to win this overall championship now.
Yeah, it looked like the a 23 and a 24 truck came together a little bit there. I'm not quite sure which one came up, which one came down. Maybe a little bit of both. But the 23 truck did a really great slide down the front straightaway. I think he came out with very little damage. So very little damage in this incident here. But quite an exciting ride down the front straightaway. And that was Palagatti was from South America there, and Tobias from the DEAT-CH region club.
So under caution yet again here for the second time as part of the World Cup of iRacing finals at Michigan International Speedway. Again, this is the oval side of the World Cup of iRacing finals. The road racing side coming at you in a couple hours here, just about 2.5 hours from now. The road racing side will kick things off, and our buddy Tim Terry is getting prepped for the road racing side along with the rest of the road course broadcasting crew. And it looks like, Nim, everybody taking the opportunity to dive down pit road.
Yeah, 17 laps on tires, that's plenty enough to slow you down. So everybody needs fresh tires now. If you stay out in the old tires, then you're going to fall to the back. So everybody coming down pit road, getting fresh tires. And pit road is a very crowded place. A lot of trucks on there now. It's hard to find your spot. And see if these guys can get their tires of fuel and get out. A couple of trucks overshooting their pits. Yeah, PJ Sturgis messed up and he had to back up. That's going to cost him some spots.
Tough break for PJ, and he's not used to, in the physical world, racing a car that has a reverse to it. Normally we see him either in a midget or in a small block super modified running at the Lee USA Speedway in New Hampshire. So not used to having a reverse in his physical world of racing. However, PJ is one of those racers that he's very well skilled on both the road and the oval side. I wouldn't be surprised to see PJ on the oval side as well.
That's right, PJ, very good driver all around, very good sim racer. Hey, if you're new to iRacing or you haven't tried it out, right now we have a great trial offer that's available. You buy 1 month and you get 2 free. So 3 months for the price of 1 right now, and you can visit www.iracing.com, and right on the front page there you'll see the offer to try that out. This is a pretty exciting time here at iRacing too, because tomorrow we start a fresh new season for all of our different series. We just ended our last season of 2010 here just a few weeks ago, or last week, and this coming Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, top of the hour GMT, we start all new series all new series will start their new season for our first quarter. So exciting time at iRacing, a lot of new series starting up and a lot of fun. Green flag next time by on lap number 19. Here we are now. Let's start lap number 20. We'll get the green.
Next caution flag will run down the scoring procedure so we can kind of give you an idea on how this championship will be decided. And it will not be decided during this particular race, but it will have, or half of that championship will be decided during this particular race. But after this race, the road racers will take it over, and they'll be the ones to take this thing home, and we'll be able to determine a champion after the road race a little bit later on here this evening.
Yep, restart will be at the start of lap number 20. And Stefan Potier still leads. Jason Bernstein. Robin Mundheck will start third, and Joshua Gudoff will start on the outside of the second row.
Green flag flies. We are back underway here at Michigan International Speedway. Potier continues to lead this one, but look at the 11 truck working up. It's Ohio's Wyatt Gooden.
Yeah, Wyatt Gooden right down there on the apron. That's a very tricky place to drive down there. The transition between the apron and the banking is a little bit contentious down there, and you get your two wheels off of there, and you can find yourself in trouble. But Wyatt, a very experienced driver, he knows what he's doing down there. Right now, challenging for the fourth spot. It looks like he might have to fall in line in fifth, though.
Gooden gets up into his position on the racetrack, into the racing line, and Wyatt Gooden continues to start to try to put pressure on your top two. Burstein having a good run, continuing that good run of the number 1 truck.
Yep, last time off of corner number 4, one of the trucks got loose. I believe that was Robin Moonheck, got loose, and he lost a number of spots, so that made some 3 wide down the front straightaway. Everybody able to get by, though. Challenging for second right now is... Actually, that's a battle for 5th place still. Wyatt Gooden challenging for that 4th spot.
Coming into this race, Nim, obviously defending champions should get the nod for being favorites to win the overall, but the New England team looked strong. The France team looked quite strong. I think Indiana should have a pretty strong showing as well.
Oh, definitely. There's a lot, and they've got one truck really loose coming down the corner number 2 right there. Was able to save it. That was car number 3, PJ Sturgis, and we talked about PJ from New England quite a bit so far, but really loose. Great save in corner number 1 and 2 that time. But you're right there. All of these guys, the clubs consist of, it could be 500 to 1,000 plus members, and these guys are the best of those clubs. So none of these guys on the track right now are slouches. They're all very good drivers, and they've competed for their teams, and they've gotten, they were a part, as well as were all the club members, of getting their teams this far in the championship.
Joshua Gudor starting to smoke those tires, working about as hard as he possibly can, trying to hold off that charge coming from behind his 8 truck, and he's really got to work hard to hold off some stout drivers. There are no slouches in this competition.
2 trucks working together right now, your top 2 guys. That's Jason Bernstein and Jason Bernstein from the West Division, and hooking up with Team France driver, and that's Stefan Potier. They're out front, and you can see how Jason is right up on the rear bumper of Potier going down the front straightaway in corner number 1. He's trying to get those trucks to slipstream through the air quicker than all the trucks behind them, to try to get these guys stretched out so it can be a 2-truck race instead of allowing these other 34 or 35 trucks back in the battle.
Dresbach working down to the inside. That's the 12 truck. The Ohio racer trying to work his way down to the inside of that number 6. The 6 truck is Ronan Tageron from France. Check that. The 16 still from France. However, it's Simon Crouchard.
Yeah, Crouchard up on the outside. He looks like he might lose that spot, but he's going to have momentum up there on the outside. Right dropping down below them. PJ Sturgis right behind them. He's trying to make that pass on the 16 truck right now, and he's getting a lot of help from the truck behind him. And I believe that is the number 9 truck of Steve Ritter. Steve Ritter, also very experienced oval racer.
Indeed, a lot of these drivers may be crossover drivers as well. They may race on the oval side and on the road course side. A big shot earlier on in this race to the chances of Club New England when Josh Parker, the number 2 truck, went out. Parker, one of the premier oval racers in all of iRacing, and he wound up out of this one.
Wreck in turn number 2 as Jason Bernstein took the lead that last lap by. We do have a wreck in turn 2.
Several trucks involved in this one. A lot of damage to the racing surface and the race trucks out there. And fortunately, the racing surface, it's fixed in an instant. The race trucks, however, not quite the same.
Yeah, it looks like again PJ Sturgis loose off of corner number 2, and he got loose, and it caused a little bit of a melee behind him.
Every damage to the number 34 truck of Trevisan. He's one of our South American drivers, and we'll wait and see if Trevisan drops. Several drivers involved in this one. Fernando Sigacao in the number 34 is our driver that we were talking about. Sorry, that's the South American driver, Fernando Sigacao in the 34. Trevisan is already out. He was in the 33, also from South America, by the way. So we got the club right. Just got the name wrong, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like when PJ got loose, Steve Ritter had to check up behind him, and then Borjan Lada had nowhere to go, and he got in the back of Ritter, and that spun Lada around right in the middle of the track on the oncoming traffic, and a number of people involved. Lada from the DEATCH region.
Looks like everybody will head down pit road, or the majority of these drivers heading down pit road at the very least. Burstein is your race leader. He comes to us from the west, so the west has finally taken the lead after the French club, or French team we should say, led more than 25 laps in the early going of this one.
Darryl, we won't know who the champion team will be until after the Road Series final at 6 o'clock today, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is in about 2.5 hours from now, because the championship team, the championship club, is a part of the scoring is part of the cumulative results of the oval race and the road race. So after this race, the club points will be tallied, and then after the road race, those points will be added to this result, and then we'll be able to figure out our champion.
Indeed they will, so we'll have to wait and find out who the champion is after the road race. As Poitier wins the race off from pit road, Poitier now once again the race leader. Burstein comes off the pit road in second spot. Burstein passes up Poitier. Perhaps a penalty for Poitier, not really sure.
Yeah, not quite sure what's going on there. We'll have to check.
Few drivers have stayed out on the racetrack, just looking for track position. The Indiana racer Mark Brown out there on the number 25, and Walter Holmes stayed out, as Walter Holmes and Mark Brown will take over, we do believe, some of the top spots here in this one. Mark Brown and Walter Holmes staying out on the racetrack. So Walter Holmes, your leader. Mark Brown sits in second. Poitier is third. Fourth is Burstein. Fifth is Wyatt Gooden. Sixth is Tageron. Seventh is Chase Padano. Chase Padano, driver of the number 4 truck. He's the only driver from the Indiana team that does not yet have any damage.
This race tonight is being held at iRacing.com, online sim racing. At iRacing.com, and right now, if you're interested in this and you haven't had a chance to check it out, check out the iRacing.com, and you can get a trial offer, and you can buy 1 month and get 3 months free. So you can give it a good try. iRacing.com has online racing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, includes over 1,500 plus official races per week. And on top of that, members can race in private sessions 24/7, and you can put up your private races, join your own leagues, or create a league, or just put up a race and mess around with friends. We have 22 of the world's finest race cars that are officially licensed and authentically reproduced, and 45 of the world's finest tracks, officially licensed and reproduced to the millimeter of accuracy. iRacing has a full, integrated, and robust members website, including a passionate social community. iRacing offers the most rich PC racing sim of all time.
And the neat thing about the iRacing software is it continues to change. It continues to evolve and change and do exactly what it has always been intended to do, and that's evolve with the community. Green flag flies, and we are underway, and Walter Holmes, as expected, is going to be gobbled up on the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, and he's in an uncomfortable position right now, right in the middle, going down the corner number 1 and 2, and he's like the slow truck that has, all these all these guys all over him, and he gets two, and he
whoa, Nelly! Big turn for Holmes as we've got several trucks involved. The 8 involved, and it looks like the 14 down through the lower part of the racetrack. Doesn't look like he got involved in it. That's Matthias Runer. Runer able to escape some big-time situation, and that's very good for the DEATCH crew, the defending champions, as he's one of the front runners for that crew. The 10, the 13, and the 14 are very, very quick drivers, no matter where you put them.
Yeah, a couple of angry drivers on the track right now. That the 6 truck, and a number of other trucks, a little bit having some words out there, but they're not happy. They worked real hard for this, and they don't want to be wrecked out. Nobody wants to be wrecked out. Not quite sure that nobody tried to have this accident, but it took a lot of good trucks out.
Indeed it did, and we're going to wind up with a few less solid trucks, but the good news for the French fans out there, Stéphane Potier continues to lead this race, and he's only had a few laps out of the top spot. Jason Burstein, the only driver that's really kind of offered up any sort of a challenge to Potier, will restart in the second spot. Wyatt Gooden is looking pretty strong still. Gooden, the number 11 truck racing from Ohio, looks very, very strong. Wyatt Gooden up in the 3rd position.
That's another blow for the New England club. Walter Holmes, the 26 truck, was in Club New England, and a little bit of hurt for the 6 France club. So Renan Turgeron is the France truck, so that's a little bit below their team. A number of other teams involved too, so let's see how it works out. Ford truck of Chase Puduno from Indiana involved. So the 8 truck of Joshua Gudorf from Ohio was involved.
That's a tough break for Joshua Gudorf, as Gudorf had a nice strong run going as well. And here in the early going, you're just kind of trying to survive and get to lap, 50 or 60 or so, and then really kind of drop the hammer. And talk about a shot for the New England team. What about P.J. Sturgis? Sturgis, who I believe is the highest running New England racer, seriously damaged in that 3 truck.
Yeah, there's a lot of trucks and a lot of teams that were affected in this incident. A couple of France drivers are just looking at Rob Munzo from the West team. So it's hard to say that any teams or clubs got out of this one scot-free.
I believe somewhere in the area of 7 trucks involved, between 7 and 9 trucks involved in that most recent incident. And these incidents that happen close to the restart, that's kind of, to be expected. Several trucks wind up getting involved as they're all still in a clump and there's just absolutely nowhere to go. The 15 truck is right behind P.J. Sturgis. That's Robbie Baker. He may very well become New England's best chance at this point, depending on how bad the damage is for P.J. Sturgis.
Yeah, when you're starting up front, with all these trucks behind you, and you don't get fresh tires, and everybody else behind you does, that puts you in a bad spot. Especially at this track where it's so wide, and people can put you in the middle of a 3 wide, and the track's wide enough to race 3 wide. We've seen it already today. But if you're that truck in the middle and you're losing all your aero and your tires, aren't quite as good as everybody else's, that's where we get a slight contact, and it's easy to get turned around right in front of this whole field, which can take out a lot of drivers like it did.
The number 6, Ronan Tageron from France, is out of this one. Tough break, as Bjorn Lada also out of this one in the number 19. He's from the defending champion DEATCH crew. That's the German, Austrian, and Switzerland club. Trying to track on my own here who's fallen out and who's in and which truck numbers are from where, as a lot of the trucks sporting sponsors and a lot of the trucks sporting their club as a sponsorship. I would love to see it where all the trucks have their club as a sponsor, and they all kind of run, if you're in a team, you all kind of run a similar paint scheme. That would be a lot easier for me.
Yeah, that would be a lot easier. There are actually, I know of some leagues and some private clubs that do things like that, where they'll have teams and they'll run similar paint jobs and stuff like that. But there's many different options at iRacing, and if whatever you want to do with your league, you're able to do, and that's how they run it. Right now, these guys are all, part of a club, but they do run their own individual schemes. A lot of the trucks do have some type of sticker or notification on what club they are in. They usually run that on the rear deck lid or something like that. We can see right now that number 12 truck of Cale Dresbeck has Ohio right on the tail of his truck. So Club Ohio for Dresbeck, and he wants everybody to know about it.
He is Ohio proud, is Dresbeck, and Cale Dresbeck, one of the front runners right now. Cale sitting in the 7th position in that 12 truck, and having a solid run is Cale Dresbeck.
Right up front now, Stephen Potier leading most of the way. Bernstein had taken the lead just before the last caution that set us up for this one, but right now we have Wyatt Gooden up there. It looks like to be in the 2nd position maybe, and or 3rd as Bernstein is up running around there. I'm not sure what he's doing, but Wyatt Gooden is going to be tough to beat at this point. He's a very good driver. He's got a lot of good drivers out there who can challenge him, but we'll see how it works.
I think one of the neatest recent additions is the ability to get out there and race with these drivers without being a part of their session. Spectators can actually hop in their car and race with these drivers. The drivers don't see them on the track, but the spectators get the opportunity to feel what it's like to race with these guys.
That's right. You can, at a spectating session, you can get in there and drive. They won't see you, but you'll see them, and you can get a good idea. Actually, some people use that to practice with a lot, so it is a good opportunity to get some seat time without being able to, affect that race or damage it. The pace car is off. The green flag is out. Wyatt Gooden spins his tires just a little bit. Bernstein does also. Heading down corner number 1. Looks like Gooden is going to take that 2nd spot.
Wyatt Gooden working hard in the number 11. He's been working hard all race long. Gooden, one of our physical racers as well. He's known primarily for his road course side, but really kind of flexing some oval muscles here as Wyatt Gooden up in 2nd spot.
Bernstein gets checked up a little bit there, and that will open the door for, I believe that is the 17 truck going down there in the corner number 3. Actually, it's the number 10 truck of Robin Moonhek. Moonhek currently running in the 4th spot. Moonhek on the German team running in the 4th spot right now. So German team up challenging right now as Wyatt Gooden runs in the 2nd spot. Bernstein trying to challenge Gooden going into corner number 2, but had to back off again.
Jason Bernstein doing everything he can in the number 1 to get back up into the battle for that number 1 position. Bernstein comes in, the highest ranked driver. He also comes to us from the West Racing Group. We'll see if Bernstein can get back up into the mix. Interesting way the numbers are handed out or doled out here within iRacing. It's a different number for each driver each time they hit the racetrack for the most part, and it's based on your ranking within the iRacing service as you join the server.
That's right, Daryl. Everybody has a rating, and each time they race in a race, their rating is on the line. So if you finish well in the race, your rating will generally go up. If you finish low in the race, your rating will generally go down. And the numbers that you see on the trucks here today, like Jason Bernstein has truck number 1, he is the highest rated driver in this race. So theoretically, he's the best driver in this race. Now, just because you're a highest rated driver doesn't mean you're always the best at this, in this particular day, at this particular event. But as we can see up there, Jason Bernstein running in the 3rd spot, doing very well. He is the top rated driver in this race.
These drivers work through some smoke on the racetrack, so they get themselves through that situation. We stay green flag conditions. Potier continues to lead this one as he's showing that he's a little bit better than maybe that 5 on the truck would signify. However, you got to keep in mind that those ratings are overall as far as the drivers registered for that particular event in the official and unofficial races. A little bit different when it comes to private races. Private races, oftentimes, it's the order that they join the server.
Last lap by, Rob Munoz had some trouble up in corner number 2. That's where the smoke came from. He looped the truck around a couple of times, was able to get down on the apron and exit the race without a caution, without bringing out a caution. So Rob Munoz out of the race, and Rob, I believe, try to see what team he was for. Rob Munoz was for the West team. Division 1 driver out of the West team, having his troubles here tonight, and is out of this race.
We're going to let you experience the speed and the fury of the iRacing World Cup Finals here at Michigan International Speedway.
Gets in the wall there a little bit, coming off corner number 4, third spot. He loses some momentum, but looks like the truck behind is just going to fall in and follow him as we reach halfway this time by.
40 laps now complete, 40 laps still to go in this one, and these drivers working hard. The top 4 have pulled away to a 2-second advantage over 5th position.
That's exactly what these guys want to do. They want to get away from the pack behind them. They want to hope there's no more caution so they can settle it between themselves. But they probably can make it from here on fuel. They will have to take care of those tires a bit. You can see the guys behind your lead truck at Poitier, and you know that's what the 11 truck of Wyatt Gooden is doing. He's staying in that draft, and he's kind of easing it around the corners, and he's just kind of, you know, saving those tires, not working his truck so bad. He knows that they're going to be right at the end of their tire run and fuel run at the end of this race, and he's doing his best right now to save his equipment.
Five separate groups of racers out on this track as they've separated themselves into 5 groups. The haves, the almost haves, the sort of haves, the have-nots, and the drivers that are struggling a little bit further towards the back as well. And right now the haves, your top 4, Stefan Poitier, Wyatt Gooden, Jason Burstein, and Robin Mendhenk. Or Mendhenk, I apologize. Mendhenk, or Mundhenk. We're still trying to get all these names down right as Burstein moves down to the inside of Wyatt Gooden, battle for 2nd spot, and Burstein will have the position. Big slide for Gooden.
We have trouble in corner number 2. That was, I believe, the 23 truck. Yeah, going down in corner number 1, it looks like the 18 truck came down on the 23 a little bit, and that sent them both up into the fence.
Tough break, the 23 from the South American team and the 18, one of our Ohio racers. That's Ronnie Potts in the 18. The 23 is Marcelo Pelagate.
Leaders will be picking up pace car on the back straightaway this time by. We'll see if any of them head to pit road.
I think we'll see pit stops almost en masse. I think the majority of these drivers will make their run down pit road as it just kind of makes sense.
Yeah, if you stay out now, you're setting yourself up not to be good for the end of the race. So you want to get those fresh tires on now. You don't want to have anybody else behind you be in a better position towards the end of the race. Also involved in that incident, I don't know if we called out his name yet, Dave Serdora from West, also involved.
Serdora doesn't look like he's got too much damage in that Western sponsored truck, Western USA or West USA sponsored number 22. It's a nice paint scheme on that truck. That's one of the things we didn't talk too much about was the painting tools here within iRacing, as the schemes you're seeing are all basically default iRacing schemes. So these drivers able to create their own default schemes, which you do not have their custom schemes installed right now. None of the custom schemes are installed, as this is an official race, and we're kind of making sure that all these schemes are approved. And if you utilize the iRacing painting tool or painting booth, you can guarantee that your stuff will be approved.
Yeah, it's also, it's a really good system that we have set up there, is that, you go in there and there's many, many different paint schemes to choose from, and then you can add your different stickers and sponsors on the car and make your truck look really good. So that's the paint jobs that you see here today are the iRacing different schemes that they have online, and not everybody obviously not running the same type of scheme, but you can see the truck's looking pretty good. Got their sponsorships on them and clubs and all that good stuff. So everybody looking good out there tonight.
Burstein with a slow stop, loses 4 spots on his run through the pits. Tough break for Jason Burstein. That's going to slow his progress, and he'll have his work cut out for him as the job just got a little bit harder on him.
Yeah, it looks like a couple of guys that were down front are going to go down pit road. Potier still leads up there, the 10 truck of Moonheck. He's right behind Potier. Rob Munoz has re-entered the track, and he's up in front of the leaders right now. He will most likely head down pit road before the start.
Your top 10 look a little something like this. Stefan Potier continues to lead this one. Robin Mundhenk is in second spot. Wyatt Gooden is third. Florian Kirchhofer in fourth. And fifth spot is Cale Dresbeck. Dresbeck is in the fifth spot. Sixth is Jason Burstein. Seventh is Jonathan Berthier. Eighth is Matthias Runer. Ninth is Robbie Baker. And rounding out your top 10 with a very damaged truck is P.J. Sturgis.
The iRacing Road Championship will go off at 6 o'clock today. Let's not forget about that. And they will be using the Formula Mazda car, Star Mazda car, at Road Atlanta. So tune in at 6 o'clock East Coast time, and you will be able to see that race live.
Yeah, you see them going around this 4-turn Michigan International Speedway. A little bit later on, they will go and they will head to the 12-turn Road Atlanta, 2.54 miles Road Atlanta. This road course should be quite the race. I know I'm planning on tuning in and watching and listening to the sweet, soothing sounds of our buddy from the Great White North, Tim Terry, as he brings us, and he's part of that broadcast crew with the Star Mazda race machines at Road Atlanta. This should be a lot of fun. We got the trucks at Michigan and the Star Mazda at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, that Star Mazda, as Rob Munoz gets one of his laps back, he gets the wave around. But the Star Mazda car, very exciting car, and it should be a real good race. A lot of good drafting down that long back stretch there at Road Atlanta into the braking zone down at the bottom of the hill at the chicane there. The S's there should be very challenging, so it should be a very exciting race.
Looking forward to that broadcast coming up again at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. And those of you that aren't Eastern Time, just about 2 hours from now is when we'll roll off. So if you're watching live, 2 hours from now, make sure you come on back and catch more racing action for the World Cup of iRacing Finals. The World Cup of iRacing Finals will conclude tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern, 2 hours from right about now.
Working lap number 47. We'll get the green on lap number 48. So 33 laps to go from here.
The green flag almost set to fly for these drivers. Potier continues to lead, or Potier continues to lead this one, and he has been the dominant driver, and it's a nice turn for Team France, and we'll see if Team France can continue this run. However, not a lot of other French drivers up towards the front of this field with Potier, so Potier kind of fighting a fist fight with one arm right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of trucks behind him. Mark Gooden behind him. Potier's been doing a good job up to this point. And Gooden and those guys certainly putting the pressure on him. As now Gooden looks to the inside of Potier going down through corner number 1 and 2. Burstein has to slot in the 4th spot, and Monduhek will be in 3rd.
Wyatt Gooden trying to pick up that top spot. Now eases his way in front of the number 10 truck of Robin Moontank. Moontank is giving Wyatt Gooden just a little bit of room. Gooden took a shot to the inside of Potier and nothing doing there.
Yeah, Burstein on the back of Moonhank right now, going down to the front straightaway. Those guys, and we see Bernstein do this quite often today. He'll get right up on the rear bumper of the car. Now he challenges to the inside of Moonhank, going down corner number 3, and he will take that spot, or corner number 1, will take that 3rd position. But you'll see he's a very good drafter, as he'll get right up behind the truck and make the most out of that draft for both the trucks as they go down straightaways.
Bernstein, one of those drivers that's been drafting for years, understands what the draft is all about and how beneficial it can be. And maybe some of the drivers that are used to going road racing or are more used to sticking to the smaller tracks aren't used to that whole drafting deal. Bernstein, even with some damage to that number 1 truck, still strong, still solid, and the West still has a chance as long as Bernstein's still involved.
You know, right now I think Gooden and Bernstein are quite happy. Maybe not Bernstein so much, but I think they're quite happy to run behind the leader. But what that does is, again, it allows them to save their equipment. And they'll be stronger in the race. And we got 30 laps to go from here. This time by, we will get 30 laps to go. So still quite a ways to go on these tires, and saving them now will help you out in the end.
Marcelo Pelagate looks like he's blowing up the engine. Does not come down pit road, not quite sure why, as this could bring out a yellow flag if he continues around the racetrack trying to finish another lap. Not sure why that's going to help him, but trying to finish another lap to see just how long that motor will hang on. And you got to admire the refusal to give up, but at some point you've got to say, dude, pull off the racetrack. You're not helping yourself.
Yeah, and there are, rules that these drivers have to go by and things like that. And one of the rules is if your truck is in that bad of shape, you do need to pull off. We'll see if he comes in next time by.
I think he will likely pull off, clips the grass, almost gets up onto the racing surface. He needs to pull off as the yellow flag flies, as the 26 of Walter Holmes has some difficulty on the racetrack, and that'll bring out the yellow flag.
Yeah, it looks like Walter got a little bit surprised by the truck in front of him a little bit, checked up, going down to corner number 3, got on the apron, and spun the truck around. Oh, one truck that barely missed him before Walter headed up to the wall. That was very close. That was Mark Brown doing a real good job of dodging the 26 truck going through corner number 4 there. Barely missed him. I'm not sure if that was luck or all skill, but Mark Brown in the number 25 truck was able to get through there.
I'm not sure Mark Brown knows if it was luck or skill, but I don't think he really cares right now. All Mark Brown knows is he was able to avoid the incident.
Now he's got a bunch of Club Indiana guys who are cheering for that miss right there. So the Indiana Club was able to get by another vehicle and score some more points here. So Mark Brown doing his job for Club Indiana.
So the leaders catch up to the pace car on the backstretch here at Michigan International Speedway, and they'll drop in line behind that Ford Mustang pace car, one of the vehicles added recently here within iRacing. And the big news at iRacing, in my opinion anyways, for all of our oval racing fans, has been the addition of that street stock. And what an awesome race car that street stock is. And the neatest thing about that street stock, everybody got it for free.
Yeah, and everybody's been racing it all week long here in our week 13, with our week between seasons, where everybody's preparing for the upcoming season. We've had plenty of great street stock racing action going on.
Some phenomenal street stock action going on, and a lot of the leagues have really sort of welcomed that street stock with open arms. They say it's similar to the late model, a little bit less power, but a whole lot of
quite a bit quicker, but the street stock lets you get up on the wheel, going around, some beating and banging going on, and we've seen plenty of that this week.
That's the neat thing about those street stocks. You can kind of push and shove and beat and bang a little bit and kind of get away with it. It's not the greatest thing for your I rating or your safety rating, perhaps, but it's a lot of fun. I often go back and I check some of the hosted sessions, and more often than not, there are several hosted sessions for the street stock, and they've taken them everywhere. They take them to South Boston. They take them to the small tracks. I think I've seen a couple street stock races up at Talladega as well.
I seen them yesterday racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So they were racing some street stocks around there yesterday, so it's a pretty good deal.
Got a few drivers showing some frustration. Their tempers starting to roll just a little bit. And a couple Ohio drivers up in the top 5 right now. Wyatt Gooden is the first Ohio driver. In 5th place, Cale Dresbach is also from Ohio. So Ohio looking pretty strong right now. Even though Team France has led the majority of this race, Ohio looking strong right now as far as their chances. Again, this is only the first half of the World Cup of iRacing final. Second half coming at you in a little over or a little under 2 hours.
Yeah, remember also that, it's a cumulative total. Even in this race, we have a French driver who's led pretty much all of this race so far. But if his other French drivers aren't, up there or in front of the other teams, then France is going to have a bit of a rough time even taking the points win from this event here into our road race at 6 o'clock. So, it's a team effort here. You got to have more than one driver out there who is scoring good points for your team. And right now, Club Ohio doing a good job so far. Not sure exactly, if they are doing the best, but they're doing a good job so far.
Yeah, it's a cumulative total, and tracking the drivers that I know are out right now, it looks like Club Ohio still relatively at full strength, and that's one of the keys. You've got to have your drivers finish.
Lights still on the safety car. Munoz is out in front of the pack this time. He's looking to get the wave around again so he can get another one of his laps back. His truck very damaged after an earlier incident. He's just trying to make laps and see if he can't score some, possibly get some team points for his team later in the race. I believe Munoz from Team West right now. Stephen Potier out front. Wyatt Gooden second. Jason Burstein is in third. And one guy who had a little bit of handling problems earlier in the race is up into the 6th position right now. PJ Sturgis, who got loose earlier and had a big accident behind him. He's up in the 6th spot. So New England's still in there, Daryl, with PJ Sturgis, their top runner right now.
Robbie Baker right behind PJ Sturgis, also from Team New England as well. Robbie Baker, the number 15 truck, racing for Team New England.
All the drivers that you see right here are racing from their home computers, and they're using a steering wheel and pedal set and utilizing iRacing.com to race And as you see here, all these guys that you see racing now, racing from all these different regions, in the U.S., South America, and in Europe, right from their home desks, and are able to take part in this exciting competition, and to be able to race each other door to door from all around the world here at iRacing. These drivers race each other from their desks, and they can do very hard, close racing door to door, and so many different flavors of racing here at iRacing. You can race whatever type of car you like, from Formula One, like we said, down to the street stocks.
And Legends cars as well. Then those things are a blast.
Yeah, Legends cars. The Williams F1 car, the iZod Indy car, the NASCAR COT cars. And also the Riley Daytona prototype car that you maybe see the Daytona 24 Hours of Daytona this weekend. You can also race that car here at iRacing as we get the green flag, and Potier leads them down the corner number 1.
Potier continues to lead
Trouble in
this
the back.
one, but
looks like Brian Troyer involved.
that'll
Looks like,
slow him down yet again. We'll go under yellow flag conditions.
Yeah, it looks like the 25 car truck this time not able to avoid this incident as he did the last time. He got in contact with the 22 a little bit coming down the front straightaway, and that's Dave Sedora. Those two guys kind of met and rubbed each other in the middle. It's hard to put blame on that, but they were 3 wide, and the truck on the outside got a little bit loose, and these guys got a little bit of contact, maybe trying to avoid, and upside down goes one of the trucks, but a lot of damage, and
the 27 truck of Brian Troyer took one heck of a ride, and that'll use all of his tickets for the fair, and unfortunately he's going to have to go back to mom and dad, see if he can get some more money, buy some more tickets, because that, my friends, was a 5-ticket ride.
Troyer bringing his truck down pit road right now, see if he can't get his truck back into some type of raceable condition so he can go out and score some points for his team. All these yellow flags are helping out Rob Munoz, and he's picking up different positions from these accidents that happen, plus picking up a lap pretty much every time this happens too, trying to stay out front and get a lap back. Well, that's if everybody pits. They might not pit this time because there wasn't that any green flag lap, so he probably won't get a lap back this time. But every time one of these incidents happen and trucks are eliminated, Mr. Munoz, 4 laps down right now, is able to pick up a few spots. Munoz is currently running in the 24th spot. Again, Munoz driving for Team West. We are working lap number 59, I believe. Let's double check that. Yep, lap number 59. Stephen Potier has been the leader in the story of this race so far, leading just about every lap. Wyatt Gooden running right there in second. Wyatt's not going to let this go too much longer, and he'll be challenging for the lead right now. I believe Wyatt just kind of laying back, letting Mr. Potier use up his tires, but everybody's got fresh tires on after that last caution we had, so he's still 21, 22 laps to go from here. Still plenty of time, but Mr. Gooden will be certainly making his move shortly. If you like what you see here, just remember to visit www.iracing.com. New season starting up this coming week, so you can join up now. View the website at iRacing.com. You can buy 1 month and get 2 months free, so you have 3-month trial period. And check it out and see what you like. And just to let you know that 3 months will get you the whole next season. So every season that we have is a 3-month period. So you can run the whole next season for the price of 1 month. And try out all the cars that you like, move up, increase your license, move up through the ranks, and take part in the competition here at iRacing.
So we'll see which of these teams will have an advantage heading into the final round of the World Cup of iRacing finals. And again, the final round is the roadside, coming at you in about an hour and 48 minutes or so. Again, that's the scheduled start time, 1 hour and 48 minutes from now.
And those guys will be using the Formula Mazda car at Road Atlanta. Road Atlanta, what did they say, Daryl, 12 turns?
Indeed, Road Atlanta, 2.54 miles, 12 turns, located just north of Brazelton, Georgia. Should be a lot of fun to watch that one. I'll be tuning in to catch the action from Road Atlanta.
Yeah, very cool track. A lot of elevation change, a lot of fast corners, some good tight corners too down in Complex 6 and 7. Some tight corners down there that lead onto the back straightaway. So Road Atlanta race, looking forward to that, and probably a lot of good drafting with the Formula Mazdas down that back straightaway into the turn 10A, 10B braking zones and chicane.
And that 10A, 10B braking zone is a very popular passing zone, and the entrance to pit road at the entrance of turn 11 should be quite interesting, to say the least. They'll be using the 11-12, not the 12A. 12A will not be utilized here for this one. So we'll see how this all plays out for the drivers, and kind of a short run to turn 1 at Road Atlanta. But these drivers will figure it all out, and one of the neatest tracks out there, Road Atlanta. My favorite road course is and always will be Mazda Raceway at Laguna Seca. It's just a phenomenal racetrack with the elevation changes and the corkscrew. My favorite track, and I'm so tickled pink that iRacing has so lovingly recreated that racetrack within the software.
Yep, and one thing they do, they use laser scanners to create the racetracks, so everything is accurate within the 1 millimeter. And one thing about that Road Atlanta race that we're going to see shortly this afternoon is coming down down the hill from turn 11 to 12. There's some pretty good bumps in there that can get you caught out coming down that hill. So just like there is at the real track and down in Brazelton, Georgia, in Road Atlanta here at iRacing, coming down that hill, you got to be careful of those bumps, or you'll bottom out and you'll find yourself in some real trouble.
Several of these drivers will likely race on the road course side. Wyatt Gooden likely to be one of them. We're waiting to find out if PJ Sturgis will be one of them as well. I know PJ sort of has to share the iRacing time between himself and his younger brother, Jake. Jake Sturgis, also an accomplished midget racer in the area. Jake Sturgis came out with the NEMA lights at Lee USA Speedway and just lit them up. At one point, they kind of pulled Jake aside and said, Jake, it's time to walk away from the NEMA lights, buddy. It's time to go NEMA racing. We can't have you dominating the NEMA lights division as you have been. The family just that darn good, and the roots are that deep in racing. Green flag flies. We are back underway. Gooden working that high side. Potier working the inside as a couple of Ohio trucks moving to the high side as well.
Gooden able to slot down in right behind Potier as they go through corner number 1 and 2. The 10 truck of Robin Moonheck down on the inside. He may have touched the apron a little bit, gets a little bit loose, and that allows Burstein to get by him going down the back straight. So move Burstein up into the third spot.
Gooden tries to run to the inside, not quite going to make it work as Potier continues to lead this one. And it looks like they may be, nope, they are still hard on the hammer. Now they'll lift as the yellow flag flies. Jan David involved in this one, the number 31 truck, and that's a negative sign for the French team as he's part of the French racing team. We'll call them the French Connection at least for now.
Yeah, he got involved with the 25 truck again, who was involved in the last caution flag, I believe. And that was, Mark Brown coming off corner number 2. It looks like Jan came up the track and left plenty of room for Brown. Brown's kind of moved down the track and turned Jan into the fence. So a little bit of a mistake there for the 25 truck, but he'll be able to continue. The France truck, the 31 truck, beyond David, kind of used up.
The 25 comes down into the 31, and that puts us under yellow flag conditions again. And the 25 racing with Team Indiana, and the Indiana team not really looking all that strong right now, and that's kind of surprising. I thought the Indiana team would be a little bit stronger at this point in the race.
Top two drivers, the 11 and 5 truck, Potier and Gooden, head down pit road. A number of trucks stand out. It's kind of surprises me that they came to pit road. We've only done about a lap on these tires, and the top two trucks. And it's hard to make that decision when you're up front. But maybe they haven't pitted in a while. But once you're those two trucks up front and you go way to the back, they got a lot of work to do in a very short period of time. And if the cautions continue to keep coming, they're not going to have enough time to move up.
And not just that, but they get themselves back into that danger zone where when those cautions come out, they happen about mid-pack, and that's right about where they're going to find themselves working through. So they really have to be careful and tiptoe their way back up through this field. So Burstein will take over the top spot of the number 1 truck. Moontank will take over second. I believe P.J. Sturgis has taken the 3rd spot in that number 3 truck, and that 3 is just absolutely wrecked, and somehow PJ continues to race it hard.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this move, Daryl, with Jason or not Jason, but the Potier and Gooden pitting. Just doesn't seem like a good move to me right now. What do you think?
Well, unless they're trying to make this their last and final pit stop and run down pit road, thinking that maybe this race is the way it's going to be, and might as well run down pit road and get your top off of fuel and come on out here and race. I'm not sure. I got to believe that they're going to need tires if this thing goes green the rest of the way, although the chances of it going green the rest of the way probably falls into 2 categories here, Nim. Slim and none.
Oh, that's right.
Interesting piece of trivia for you. A lot of people have been asking us, hey, why is Switzerland, SW, signified as CH? It just doesn't make much sense, and it's a question that I was asking myself earlier until our producer, Ian Bushing, came over and let us know it stands for Confederato Helvetica, which is part of their confederation. So there you go. That's why it's CH, Confederato Helvetica. See that? They make more than just knives and chocolate over there. They also make some pretty darn good sim racers in Switzerland as well. Right now, Jason Burstein wants everyone to know that they have some pretty darn good sim racers on the West Coast as well. Burstein looking strong in that West Coast ride, the number 1, even though it's got some damage to it. It doesn't seem to be affecting him all that much. And if this race continues under the way it's been, I think everybody's going to have some damage at some point, Nim.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get a little bit better from here. But since it's coming down to the end, it's unlikely, isn't it, that we'll be able to go from here. Everybody's going to be charging now, trying to get those positions. They're feeling a lot of team pressure. They know their teammates are watching them and counting on them, and they feel the need to perform right now. We got Burstein up to first, and Menhek and Sturgis, Baker, and Dresbach right there in the top 5. And if I'm right here, it looks like Potier back in the 18th position and Gooden back in 19th, and those two guys got a long way to go. And especially they're in the danger zone.
Looks like all but one of the defending champion team's trucks are still running, so that's a positive sign for that group. And we just got confirmation that the roadside will not only likely see Wyatt Gooden, it will also see our 3rd place runner right now, P.J. Sturgis. So we'll get to see what Sturgis can do. And I would love to see an overall, all-around who's the best, I think you would have to include Wyatt Gooden and P.J. Sturgis in that conversation, as well as a guy like Richard Towler.
Yeah, there are a number of crossover drivers, guys that run both our oval ladder and our road racing ladder, and you'll see them in these events, and you'll see them, when we start up the Driver World Championships here in a few weeks, running in both the oval and road series. So a lot of good, talented drivers here at iRacing that can cross over back and forth, and there are a lot of very good drivers who specialize in one area or another, who are really, really good at what they do. So it's nice to see those drivers, though, that are really good at pretty much everything, and it's fun to watch them.
Well, you mentioned those drivers that specialize. The world's fastest alien, Gregor Hutu, is a road course specialist, but something tells me if he was ever to dust off an oval car, I think he could do quite well on the oval side as well. Green flag flies. We're back underway, and Burstein down underneath the apron to get under green flag conditions, and we're going to go back under yellow flag conditions here.
Yeah, they were not doing real good on that restart right there. It looks like a number of them got grouped up, maybe starting with the 23 truck. We'll have to see. They started up. Oh, yeah, I think
Wyatt Gooden involved in this one. Wyatt Gooden, who was running so strong, he got back there. Remember we talked about this, Nim. You get back there where all this carnage is happening and you run the damage of wrecking your truck. Wyatt Gooden now has some damage to his vehicle.
Yeah, he does. He couldn't avoid the truck of Avandro Dantas, spun the tires on the restart, and he got turned around in the middle of the straightaway. And as he was spinning down the track, Wyatt got into him and had nowhere to go. And you're right, man. That's why we were thinking that it's probably not a good idea to pit back at that point and put yourself back in a position where you could be taken out through no fault of your own when you were up front and fairly safe position.
Well, we talked about the decision to come down pit road, Nim, and both of those drivers have issues now as a result of that decision to come down on pit road.
Yeah, Portier now running in the 24th spot, scored the last time by. Gooden still scored in the 18th spot. We'll see if scoring updates this time by and see what positions they sort out to be in. But both of them getting a somewhat minor piece of that incident, but their trucks certainly not as good as they were a few laps ago.
Being informed, by the way, that Gregor Hutu, not a road course specialist, qualified into the NASCAR iRacing Series World Championship, but did not race in it due to the late time of the race. He's one of the top drivers no matter where he goes. Oval, road course, I think you could put him on dirt. You could put him on ice. You could make him race underwater, and I think Gregor Hutu would be fast.
You have no doubt about it. Quite a neat video of Gregor on the iRacing website about the world. It's titled "The World's Fastest Alien," and if you go and check out that website on Gregor Hutu, it's a video that shows him being taken to Road Atlanta in a Formula Mazda car and given a chance, opportunity to get in a real race car and do some laps around Road Atlanta. Very, very good video. Check it out at iRacing.com. It's called "The World's Fastest Alien."
Your top 10 looks a little something like this. Jason Burstein is your race leader. P.J. Sturgis in that racked-up truck sits in second spot. Third is Robin Mundhank. Fourth is Cale Dresbach. Fifth is Robbie Baker. Sixth belongs to Jonathan Berthier. Seventh is Pedro Sousa. Eighth is Chase Paduano. Ninth is Matthias Runer. And rounding out your top 10, Adam Naud. So nice to see Adam Naud out of the West coming up into the top 10. So the West looking pretty strong right now, as is New England with their top two drivers, both in the top 5.
Yep, a little bit further back in the pack, Lance Soto running in the 11th position. Simon Cockroft in 12th. Tobias Kohlberg 13th. Steve Ritter 14th. Mark Brown 15th. Dave Sedora is in the 16th position. Floria Kirchhoffer is in the 17th position. Wyatt Gooden 18th. Rick Kirby 19th. And Jan David, who's had some trouble out there today, is still running around in the 20th spot. Our leader for most of the race.
The way that they run, Stefan Potier sits in 21st. 22nd is Brian Troyer. 23rd is Evandro Dantes. He's the final driver on the lead lap.
We are working lap number 70 this time by, I believe. The lights are on. No, the lights are still on the safety car, so we'll do at least another lap. But 70 this time by the start-finish line, we will have the 10 to go signal. So we'll start lap number 71, and we'll probably get the green with 9 to go.
I'm stunned that the number 20 truck of Rob Munoz still on the racetrack. Munoz from the West team. He's still out there on the racetrack, 4 laps down, refusing to give up, and that thing is tracking more sideways than forward.
Yeah, he's able to stay out there in the back right now, and he's not causing too much of a problem because we're having so many frequent caution flags that all he has to do is step on the gas for about a half a lap and still stay there in the back. So not yet a hazard, not yet black flag, but he's still back there in back running 4 laps down.
So we'll see what this restart holds here as Burstein, driver of the number 1 machine. He is coming to us from the West Club. Has PJ Sturgis up on the high side. Directly behind him is Robin Mundhank. Outside of him is Kyle Dresbeck, and right behind Mundhank we find Berthier and Baker, 5th and 6th. So we'll make that 6th and 5th as Baker is in the 5th position. He'll be 3rd on the inside line. This could be very, very bad for Jason Burstein.
Burstein, the number 1 rated driver in this race, as we talked about earlier, and that number 1 truck, PJ Sturgis right there on his outside, the 3rd rated driver in this race. So he's driving the number 3 truck. Remember, PJ had some handling problems earlier in the race through 1 and 2, as we saw him get sideways and even cause an accident behind him earlier in the race. Probably made some adjustments on some pit stops to clean that up a little bit, but his truck looking pretty beat up there right now. Right behind him, the 10th rated driver in this race, Moonheck, and the 12th rated driver in the race, Dresbeck, looking to swap positions with the guys in front of them.
So we'll see what happens as the pace car makes that hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. We'll get set to return to green flag racing action. 71 laps in the books, less than 30 to go. Green flag, we're back underway.
Burstein using a little bit of maybe oval track prowess there as he takes off a little bit early and is able to get a good jump on the rest of the field. The 10 truck was right there with him. Moonheck was able to get by PJ Sturgis as PJ got caught out a little bit on that restart. The whole outside line got caught out because PJ was a little bit slow, and PJ falls back to 3rd.
I think PJ Sturgis needs the draft. I think that's the only way he's able to keep up with these drivers, and he's going to draft it just the right way. He's got to get a little bit more of the draft onto that right front than on the left front, but the left front also showing some damage for Sturgis. So he's really got to be exact on his draft line if he's going to hang with these leaders, and so far he's done that.
Stephen Potier, our leader for most of the race, being black flags. He's coming down pit road to serve a black flag for a pit violation of some sort. So he's coming in and serving that penalty right now. So Stephen Potier, our leader for most of the race, and the guy who seemed to be dominating, is pretty much going to be out of it for the win now. We're hearing from some officials that on that last caution flag, he may have jumped the start, possibly due to the incident in front of him, not sure, but he may have passed somebody before the start-finish line, and that caused the black flag for him. 7 and 17, Sousa and Berthier battling side by side as they work their way
into turns 1 and 2 here at Michigan International Speedway. The mist has really taken her toll thus far here tonight, or this afternoon rather. Still sunshine out in the northeast, so that's kind of a positive here. As now they're still battling. They've swapped positions. They've crossed it over. Sousa now on the inside of Berthier.
Yeah, Sousa looking up on that position, coming down the front straightaway, and now they're going to make it 3 wide as Chase Puduno looking to the inside, and they're 3 wide going down the corner number 1.
3 wide into turn 1. This almost never works. They make it work. Nicely done for the drivers. Still 3 wide. The 14 of Matthias Runer sticks his nose in there, and it looks like, oh, contact! Oh, we knew that wasn't going to work out all that well. Runer involved, the 7 involved, and I believe the 17 may have been involved as well.
Yeah, I think it started with the 17 where he got his momentum, and we are staying green as this accident is off the road and out of the way. But I think the 17 truck got held up from the truck behind him. He was 3 wide, and he didn't want to lift, so he turned down into the truck below him, and that caused the incident.
Battle for the top spot now as Mundhank tries to put the move on Jason Burstein. Burstein battling hard as the battle for third is completed. Dresbach has moved up beyond PJ Sturgis, and if Sturgis can hang with Dresbach, maybe, just maybe, they'll be able to track down these top 2, but it's not looking like that truck's going to allow PJ to hang with them.
I think Burstein is set up perfectly for this point in the race. I think he's ready to go, and even though Moonhawk is getting a good run on him down the straightaway here, you can see Bernstein laying to the inside, and Bernstein knows how to fight that draft from behind, and he's just perfectly handling through the corners. Bernstein right down there on the bottom of the track, and he's able to handle well, and that's his advantage coming off the corner, is not letting Moonhawk get a run on him in time for the next corner to make a pass.
Your top 5, Burstein, Moonhank, Dresbeck, Sturgis, and Baker. Burstein coming to us from the west. Moonhank, I believe, is German. We'll double check. Indeed, he is from the defending champion team. Dresbeck in the number 12 machine is from Ohio. 4th and 5th, both from New England.
Burstein being challenged by Moonhawk right now, going down the corner number 1. Burstein stayed low, trying to block the run that Moonhawk had, and Moonhawk now has a very good run down the back straightaway. He has position on the inside and will make a run to going down the back straightaway.
Where will Dresbach go? Will he go to the high side, go to the low side? Dresbach goes to the low side. That could be all the advantage that Moonhawk needs. Side by side, they battle for the top spot out of turn number 4.
Bernstein keeps momentum coming down the front straightaway here. Dresbach drafting to the inside with Moonhank. That gives them a little bit of advantage. Now Dresbach goes back to the high side. 2 laps to go.
Closing couple laps here in this. The white flag is in hand. It'll be unfurled next time by. Bernstein works the high side. Moonhank works the inside. And right behind them is, here comes Dresbach. The draft powers by the number 10 machine of Moonhank. Bernstein now in sole possession of the top spot. They race side by side for second out of turn number 4. White flag in the air. They almost touch in the battle for second spot. White flag. One more trip around the racetrack.
Bernstein leads on. Moonhank keeps getting bound up down on the inside, and that lets the trucks on the outside get a little bit of runabout. Now they'll go down to the corner number 1. Moonhank down on the inside again, bound up a little bit. He slides up the track. He's not going to let it. He's not going to let it out this time by, and the 12 is going to have the advantage going down the back straightaway.
The battle is for spot number 2, Dresbach and Moonhank, as Jason Bernstein pulls away from the rest of this field, and Moonhank drops in behind Dresbach. So Dresbach, the Ohio racer, on the inside. Moonhank makes one last ditch effort to the high side, crosses over to the inside. Bernstein way down to the apron. Bernstein takes the win. Second will go to Dresbach, third to Moonhank.
PJ Sturgis will come home 4th, Robbie Baker 5th, and Chase Puduno is in the 6th spot.
Followed by Berthier, Soto, Kohlberg, and Wyatt Gooden. Wyatt Gooden works back up into the top 10. Nice finish for Wyatt Gooden. Give a call to PJ Sturgis. What a phenomenal drive with that damaged race truck.
So Club West, under Jason Bernstein, takes the win in the first half of today's championship. So Bernstein brings it home from Club West. Moonhank from Germany, I believe, finishes third. See where Dresbeck is from. Dresbeck from Ohio. The Ohio team right there in the second spot.
Your top 5, West, Ohio, defending champion DEATCH, New England, and New England. That's your top 5 as far as where they are from. And what a phenomenal race by those that have been involved in this one. And all the racing leading up to this particular event has been just incredible as well.
Yep, a lot of competition leading up to this event. And Jason Bernstein brings it home, and he'll bring his truck down the victory lane. And he's going to do some donuts in victory lane.
So the number 1. So the number 1 of Jason Bernstein, the one on the side, proves to be, well, quite the prediction for Jason Bernstein. Cale Dresbeck finishes in second. Robin Moonhank finishes third. Fourth is P.J. Sturgis. Fifth is Robbie Baker. Sixth position goes to Chase Paduano. Seventh to Jonathan Berthier. Eighth to Lance Soto. Ninth to Tobias Kohlberg. 10th to Wyatt Gooden. And in the 11th spot, Adam Naud.
Bringing it home in 12th is Steve Ritter. 13th, Simon Cockrart. 14th, Rick Kirby. 15th is Andreo Dantas. 16th is Mark Brown. Pedro Suso brings it home in the 17th position. 18th, Florian Kirchhoffer. Stephen Pradier, who led most of the race, brings it home in the 19th position after his black flag. 20th, Jan David. 21st, David Sadora. 22nd, Matthias Runer. And 23rd, Rob Munoz.
Finished out the finishing order. Brian Troyer was 24th. 25th belongs to Marcelo Polagatti. 26th is Walter Holm. 27th is Ronnie Potts. 28th is Joshua Gudorf. 29th is Ronan Tajran. 30th is Bjorn Lada. 31st is Fernando Siglicow. 32nd goes to Josh Parker. Michael McLean is 33rd. 34th is Mauro Trevisan. And rounding out your field with the non-start 35th position, the 28th of Terry Siders. So that's your finishing order, the way they cross the stripe. Again, not official until iRacing declares those results official, but I doubt that they'll be changing. At least my gut tells me they won't be changing. So a solid run for Jason Bernstein and a very solid run for the New England team, or at least the final 2 New England team, the top 2 New England racers, P.J. Sturgis and Robbie Baker. That's something that we'll have to watch and see who wins this team championship. They will finish it off in 1 hour and 20 minutes. They'll drop the green flag at Road Atlanta. Make sure you come back to catch that one, as our buddy Tim Terry will be in the booth for Road Atlanta. See if we can't catch a quick word with Tim Terry. Tim, you just heard this one all go down, and I know you've been watching and paying attention while you're getting ready for your Road Atlanta race. This Road Atlanta race looks like it's setting up to be a barn burner, buddy.
I tell you what, Daryl, it's going to determine the champion of the World Cup of iRacing. You look at the standings going in. New England got a bunch of points with 4th and 5th, Sturgis and Baker. Jason Bernstein wins the race for the West. The West has a bunch of points going in. I tell you what, it's going to be a barn burner at Road Atlanta. You will not want to miss it.
You can get all the results in the standings right here at iRacing.com. You can also get them at InRacing News as well. And make sure you swing back in 1 hour and 20 minutes from now. I'll be coming in to watch. I can't wait for the Road Atlanta, the final portion of the World Cup of iRacing finals. We're going to crown a champion here on PSR TV on behalf of Nim Cross and Ilka and all the guys. Matt Racing Kid Thomas helping out. Ian Bushing, Zach Stanko doing what he can to help out. Chuck Johnson, all of us, Shannon Whitmore doing his thing. I'm Daryl Morley, thanking you so much for tuning in and reminding you, keep it shiny side up and rubber side down, and always, always, always keep that hammer down. We'll see you next time right here on PSR TV.